Good afternoon and welcome to my afternoon money making mom scope. This afternoon we're going to be talking about my blogging organizational process, how that looks, how I write a blog post, and also how much time it takes me and what that looks like. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you are a blogger or you want to be a blogger or you think you might be interested in blogging, I'd love to have you join us and stick around and ask questions. Okay, so first of all, I know that I'm late and I'm supposed to be working on timeliness this week, and I said I was going to be on time with my scopes and that I was going to be on time at 3 p.m. Well, 3 p.m. we had some guy at our house working on our furnace, and it was kind of all in this area where I do my scopes, and he was making all this racket and coming up and down and all over, and I was going to try to do it from our bedroom, and then I went in there to set it up, and it was still so much racket in there, and I just thought, you know what? We are just gonna wait till 3:30. So technically I'm on time, only you didn't know that I was gonna do it at 3:30. So anyway, life happens, that's right. Okay, so welcome. I'm so glad to have you all here. For those of you who are new, my name is Crystal Payne and I'm the founder of MoneySavingMom.com, the blog that you were just seeing on the screen when I first started. Oh, you're glad that I was late because you were busy earlier. Well, yay, see, it worked out. Maybe we'll decide that 3:30 is a good time. Who knows? Anyway, so I'm the founder of MoneySavingMom.com. I have been blogging for 10 years. So like I said yesterday, or maybe, yes, it was yesterday, I said that makes me the grandma of the blogosphere because I've been blogging for a long time. And I started on a mommy blog that I had when our first child was born. It was a very eclectic mommy blog. And then from there discovered that I really loved blogging on the topic of saving money, and that there was so much interest in saving money that I ended up in 2007 started MoneySavingMom.com. You look great for a grandma. Thank you so much. You know, it's a wonder what makeup can do. No, I'm 34, by the way. So yeah, I'm pushing 40. But anyway, so I started on this mommy blog, and then that was in 2005. And I also during that time period had a couple of other different blogs. Then I started, they were all flops. And then I started Money Saving Mom in 2007 and took all of the information and all of the experience that I learned in those 2 years of blogging and was really able to plug it into that blog. So it took me 2 years of really testing and experimenting and tweaking and learning and making mistakes and trying different kinds of blogging to really figure out that Money Saving Mom was what I wanted to make my focus. But I didn't know when I started Money Saving Mom, I didn't know that that was going to be my focus. I actually started it as an offshoot of that mommy blog and really thought that it was just going to be kind of this little side thing that I was going to do in addition to that mommy blog and in addition to a bunch of other things that I was doing, and quickly discovered that there was a lot of interest in Money Saving Mom, and so many people kept coming and showing up, and they kept coming back, and within 3 to 4 months we had 12 to 15,000 page views a day, and within a year we were making a full-time income off of that blog. So around the same time, a little bit after I started Money Saving Mom, I had my second child by then, and then I was pregnant with my third child, and for some reason, so I still had the mommy blog, I had Money Saving Mom, which was blowing up, and then I was pregnant with my third child. And so being the bright and brilliant person that I am, I say that with all the sarcasm in the world, I decided it would be great to start a third blog. And so I had this third blog called Mom of Littles, and it was all about being a mom of littles. And quickly discovered that I was so overwhelmed, so exhausted, stressed to the max, had way too much on my plate. I mean, hello, 3 little kids, 3 blogs, 1 that's blowing up, not smart. So ended up realizing that I needed to just focus on Money Saving Mom. So that's what I did. So I shut down those 2 other blogs, the mommy blog and which had kind of turned into a blog that was really just geared towards Christian women. And honestly, that blog was called Biblical Womanhood. And here's the deal. When I was 23 years old, I didn't know what it, I thought I knew everything. And so I had this blog telling women how to be a biblical woman, because when you're 23 years old, you know everything, of course. Insert sarcasm. And so after running that blog for a while, just realized that I didn't know anything, and I needed to just take a season of quietness where I wasn't teaching women and really sharing what you should be doing, and just focused on saving money. So I shut down that blog, I shut down my Mom of Littles blog, and just focused on Money Saving Mom, and really didn't do much other writing or speaking, just really talked about how to save money, because I felt like I don't know a lot of other things. I feel like there's so much that I don't know, especially having 3 kids. I feel like the rug was just pulled out from under me, and I had no clue then, and all those little ideals that I thought were right, I realized I don't have a clue. So just focused on Money Saving Mom for a few years, and then from there, a lot of really amazing things have grown out of that. So after that quiet season, then I wrote Say Goodbye to Survival Mode, which came out of that season. That came out of that season where I had 3 blogs, and where I had 3 kids, and where I was trying to do so much, was stretched way too thin, and was completely overwhelmed. So Say Goodbye to Survival Mode is my story of how I hit rock bottom, how I learned that I didn't have a clue how to be a mom, how to be a wife, how to be a homemaker, how to try to juggle all these balls. I thought I had it all together. And then I had my 3rd kid, and it all fell apart. So this book is that story, and that came out of that time. And there's so many other things that have come out of that. But so I've been blogging for 10 years, and it has been quite the journey, and I've learned a lot. So we started Money Saving Mom in 2007, and I said that was after really having laid a good foundation, in the sense of that I'd had a lot of experience, I'd tried a lot of things, I'd failed a lot, and I'd learned how to monetize a blog. So I took all of that and I put it into Money Saving Mom, and within a year, this blog not only had, I'm trying to remember if it was like 30 to 40,000 page views a day, and we were making a full-time income off of it, which blew my mind. And since then, I've discovered many, many, many more ways to monetize a blog in a win-win sort of way. I've learned many, many other ways to build the readership. And so now we have 1.5 to 2 million unique visitors a month, and we have 17 people that work for us around the country, and it is our full-time business. And it also funds the ability for us to help and serve in the Dominican Republic, as well as in South Africa. And that is really where my heart is for me, is our family's heartbeat is live simply so that others can simply live. And so the more that we save and the more that we make, the more that we have to give. So that's a little bit of my background, a much longer bio than before, but that I usually share, but I thought you all might enjoy hearing a little bit of the backstory of blogging. So what do my blogging processes look like? Well, first off, I have to tell you that if you are coming to this scope hoping that I'm going to give you a 5-step plan to write a blog post in 45 minutes, you can just leave right now, because you're going to be sorely disappointed. Because I am not the systems kind of person. I have put systems in place kind of unintentionally, and with blogging, I am so much fly by the seat of my pants. I have to tell you that today I have a post that was supposed to go up at 3:25 that I scheduled yesterday, and that's a really big deal because I rarely ever can pre-schedule posts because I'm blogging by the seat of my pants. I don't recommend it, but that's just been how it's been because there's been a lot on my plate. So if you want to learn a system, you need to go to michaelhyatt.com. He has, I think, a podcast and a blog post, maybe even a video on how to write a blog post in 75 minutes. and it's a very, long, detailed blog post. We're not talking like a really simple little blog post, but a long blog post with great links and great pictures. And someone also mentioned his book, Platform. That's another great book. So if you're looking for systems, go check that out. But me personally, I want to share this with you because I want you to be encouraged to know that even though we have that much traffic, even though we have, it's our full-time thing, and we have a team around the country, and we're employing lots of people, and we are giving and funding ministries that are helping literally hundreds of kids, I don't have it all together. I don't have it even close together. But someone asked me, let me read you their question. This is where it came from. Someone asked me, Crystal, when you write a blog post, how long does it typically take you? That was her first question. And secondly, do you go through an editing and revision process, or do you just hit publish? She said, I am working on starting a blog for my studio, mainly to get a handle on how to blog and to provide students and parents with an additional resource. I find that as I've committed to writing some post, I save a draft because I want it to be just right before I publish. As a recovering perfectionist, my tendency is to continue to find ways to revise. I'm just interested in hearing about your writing process. I always crack up when people think that I have this amazing process because it's just, I don't. But I will tell you what I do because she asked and I had to dig into my brain and think, what do I do? Well, as I come up with ideas, I put them in Google Calendar. So my Google Calendar that I've showed you before, and I can show you, I'll show you right now. We will just show you so you can get an idea of, let's see, go back. Now I will show you, this is my Google Calendar. Don't look at my screen if it's really dirty because it usually is. Okay, so this is my Google Calendar for the next few days. So as you can see, I take off the items as I do them, and this is for the next few days. There's a lot on there because I'm in book launch mode, but I will write on there. So for instance, I have today's post was already scheduled, but tomorrow I'm going to do a post on either how I do it all or something from our South Africa trip or something on podcast, and I'm not completely sure, but I put those ideas on the Google Calendar. So as ideas come to me, I put them on my Google Calendar. And I will usually just put one idea per day, but I love that I can move them around. So you need to have some way to capture the ideas. Capture the ideas. Sometimes I will email notes to myself. So if I'm driving, I might actually leave myself a voice message with a reminder because I don't want to forget. If you don't capture those ideas, you will forget them. So, or I'll scribble down notes while I'm washing dishes. So I'll wash dishes and I'll go and I'll scribble down a note and then I'll keep washing dishes. Write those ideas down. Capture them somehow, somewhere, or you won't remember. Always capture the ideas and immediately. Don't tell yourself, oh, I'll remember that later. No, capture them immediately. So then once I have the idea, I put it into Google Calendar, and even in the notes section on Google Calendar on the all-day event, I will put maybe, these are the 3 things that I was thinking of including in that post. And then at the beginning of the week, I usually look through my whole week on Google Calendar, and I look and I see, okay, let's try to vary my posts, and I'll look at what I already have, kind of maybe sometimes there's a post that I've committed that it will go up on a certain day. Maybe it's about someone's book, maybe it's about someone's product. So I'll make sure, okay, that's happening on Wednesday, and then I'll look around that and take those ideas that I've just kind of thrown up on Google Calendar, and then I'll assign them to a day. Now, just because I assign it to a day doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen on that day. But at least I know, okay, a week or 2 in advance, I have 1 to 2 weeks worth of blog post ideas. Because what you don't want to happen is that you need to write a blog post, or you want to write a blog post, and the ideas just aren't coming. So I always try to make sure that I have way more ideas than time by capturing those ideas immediately. So then loosely assigning them to a day. And, you know, here's the deal. I found that blogging by the seat of my pants actually has some advantages. I love it when I am inspired to write a post and I just write it and it just flows out and it's just something I'm passionate about and I just have to get it out there. Maybe it was a story, something that happened, some experience, someone that I met and they told me something that sparked an idea. So I have found that doing that and not having all my posts scheduled out for weeks or months in advance allows me the opportunity to be able to jump on an idea if it, you know, I feel like, okay, that's a great idea. I want to write a post and I want to do it now and I want it to go up today. I remember when Kate Middleton, she had her baby and there were so many people saying in the blogosphere, oh my goodness, like she looks amazing. And there was this sort of like, I'm not good enough. I don't measure up to her. Well, that day I wrote this post, just flowed and it just came out and ended up being a post that got mentioned on the Today Show and got so much traffic. And had I not been able to just write that post and push publish because I already had everything mapped out weeks in advance and all pre-scheduled, I couldn't jump on that. So that is one advantage to blogging by the seat of the pants. The disadvantage is that you are blogging by the seat of your pants. So you are thinking that day, what am I going to be posting or which post am I going to write? You don't have it all pre-scheduled. So I map out the ideas on Google Calendar, loosely assign them to a day, and then that day or the day before, I choose an idea. So I look at all those and maybe I'll say, oh, you know, the one on Friday, I'm going to do it today, and I swap out the days. And then I choose the idea, and there are different ways that I will outline it. Sometimes I outline it on paper. So if I know that I'm gonna be washing dishes, or maybe I'm sitting at my son's ball game, or I'm somewhere else that I can have a pen and paper and just as ideas come to my mind, I just write them down. I write them down, and sometimes if I am able to sit at my computer, I will actually just type them out in a blog post on WordPress. So then I usually don't write the full post right then and there and push publish. I usually write kind of an outline, let it sit for a little while. So a lot of times I'll write the outline in the morning or the night before or the day before, and then the next day I'll come back to it, refine it, and then fill in the gaps. So once I have the outline for me and kind of the examples that I want to use, it's very easy for me usually to then fill in the gaps with, you know, fill in the paragraphs and fill the rest in. The outline is the big thing for me, getting that and maybe an example or two that I want to use. I also don't use the same kind of outline for every blog post. I know someone like Michael Hyatt, his blog posts always look the same. I don't. Sometimes mine are story driven. Sometimes they will be 15 ways to such and such. Sometimes they will be one truth that I learned that so-and-so. Sometimes they will be my crazy episode last night of such and such. So I change it up a lot, and I don't feel like I need to do it a certain way every single time. I think there's beauty in having a variety of styles when I post, or at least I love that. Maybe because I'm a rebel and I don't like to always stick to doing the same thing in the same way. But that helps me to not feel tied down to having to do it a certain way. I also don't feel tied down to a word count. I try to have my post usually be at least 500 words. I really don't struggle to come up with words usually. So usually they are not shorter than 700 or 800 words, and very often they're more in the 1,200 word vicinity or even more. I don't worry about that because I know that I want to share and communicate what's on my heart, and so whatever it takes to do that, if it takes 400 words or 1,400 words, I'm not going to stress over that. I always write the text first before putting in links. So I don't ever add links as I'm going along. I add them in at the end. But I do sometimes add in pictures. So sometimes I'll think, do I have a picture that's going to express what I want to express in this paragraph, or that really captures what I'm trying to communicate, or that just would enhance the post? And I use a lot of my own personal pictures that are not staged. A lot of them are taken with my phone, and a lot of them are from Instagram. I am just a real big fan of doing what you can do with what you've got, where you are, not stressing over doing it perfectly. So I might take a break and add in photos. I might add them as I'm going along. I might add them at the end. See, I told you, no systems here. It's just whatever works for that post. But I do add the links at the end. And the reason I add the links at the end is because it's very important that you link back to other posts on your blog. Not only does it help people if they want to read more of that story. For instance, yesterday I did a post on our South Africa trip. There was so much in that post that I couldn't share, but if you were brand new, you would want to know, okay, so what is this 2-classroom building that her readers help fund it? What's that all about? I couldn't write all that in the post, but I wanted to link to it so those who were new could read about it. Or maybe you're thinking, why did they take their kids to South Africa? Linking to that so that people who are new can understand the deeper story. So that's one really important reason to link back to old posts. The other important reason is it helps your SEO. SEO is your search engine optimization, which means when you type in on Google, what posts come up first, what articles, what links come up first, that is search engine optimization. So you want to be on the first few pages of Google for certain search terms. So by linking back to other posts on your site, you're helping Google to like your site more. Now, there's so many other things you can do with search engine optimization, and truthfully, I don't do any of them. I am all about serving my readers first, not serving Google. I want to serve my readers. And so I think about linking back to posts that are going to help my readers who are reading this through, not about posts that I want to make sure that the keywords are tagged in the post so that Google will pick up on that and all that stuff. Serve your readers first, not Google, and in the long run, it will be in your favor. So adding links at the end, and then I try to read through it one more time before I hit publish. How long does this process take me? Typically, if it's a short and sweet blog post, like this morning I did one on, I don't have the book here, I Used to Be So Organized book that we're doing a book club post. That post was maybe 300 or 400 words. That post probably took me maybe 25 minutes, but it only had possibly 4 or 5 links in it, and there was, it wasn't a long post, and I did take a picture right there of the book with my coffee cup right there, emailed it to myself and uploaded it. So that probably took me 25 minutes. A longer post that's more in the vicinity of, 1,400 to maybe 1,800 words, and lots of pictures, lots of links, lots of meat, those can take me up to 3 to 4 hours. So that's why I'm not going to do one of those every day, because I don't have 3 to 4 hours every day. For instance, my South Africa post that I did yesterday, I think it had maybe 20 or 30 pictures in it. But to get those 20 or 30 pictures, I had to go through probably 400 pictures to pick those 20 or 30. So that process took a lot. That probably right there took me 45 minutes to an hour. Then I had to upload them. So just getting the pictures in that post was a good hour, and then writing all the content and making sure all the links were there. So it can take me 3 or 4 hours. But the shorter posts, I can usually churn them out in, I would say, an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. That would be a post that maybe has 3 to 4 pictures and maybe 6 links and is somewhere between 800 and 1,000 words. So an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, that's how long it'll usually take me. Now, do I read through it all and edit it and pre-schedule it? In the ideal world, yes, I would. But sometimes I'm just like, yes, I got the post done. I just got to move on. And so I hit publish, which is not the best thing to do. But sometimes you just do what you've got to do, because I can't spend a ton of time. You have the time that you have, and that's just what you have. So I'm a big fan, like I said, of doing what you can do with what you have where you are. And I share this with you because I want to encourage you. Those of you who feel like, I got to do it perfectly or I shouldn't do it at all. Do what you can do. Just jump in right where you are. Yes, there are typos on my blog. I have what I call some unpaid editors. They are people who they are so kind to always point out when there are typos. They don't point them out in the kindest manner, but they always point them out. I have a few people who read my blog solely so that they can look for something to criticize. And so they're really helpful at pointing out when there's something that is misspelled, a grammar error, a typo. And so I call them my unpaid editors because they help me out, because I know that if there's a typo, they're going to find it. So that's great. But also just being okay with not being perfect, and being okay with putting out there, and being okay with making mistakes, because that's part of the journey. So I will tell you that recently, one thing that I've been doing and that we're working on perfecting is that I'm actually turning my scopes into post. And my new assistant, who I've been training for the last 2 months, I've mentioned her multiple times. One of the reasons that I hired her was because she showed me through some contract work that she does a tremendous job of this. So she is taking some of my scopes every week, kind of the ones that have a good outline, not this one because this one's all over the board, but ones that have a strong outline that I feel like would be a great blog post. And then she's taking my scope, turning it into a blog post. So she will give the examples, she'll write the outline, she'll add some pictures, add some links, and then I go in and spend about 15 to 25 minutes tweaking the post. So it saves me a lot of time for her to do that, and then I can repurpose my scopes, because on my scopes, the most people that usually will see a scope would maybe be something like 1,500 to 2,500 people. And on my blog, it's going to be thousands and thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people might see that post. So not everybody's on Periscope. And also some people who are on Periscope are saying, can you turn that into a blog post? And so this has been exciting for me to be able to repurpose my scopes into a blog post, and then we're also going to be repurposing some of them into products as well. We'll beef them up and all that, but that is something that I'm excited about. So we've already done a few of my scopes have turned into blog posts, and you may or may not have noticed. Usually I'll link to my scope at the bottom and say, for the video version of this, or the extended video version, you can watch my scope here. But I just feel like that it's a great way to take the content that I'm giving, seeing which ones resonate well, and then turning that into repurposed content that can help thousands more people. It also saves me time, and that's one thing that I was going to mention. So long term down the road, my hope is that I will actually be able to start pre-scheduling. So today there's a blog post that just went up on MoneySavingMom that is actually a scope that I did, and it's turned into a blog post, and that's why I was able to pre-schedule it yesterday, because it only took me 15 to 25 minutes. So my goal is down the road that on the weekends I will pre-schedule post that some of my scope posts, so that going into the week I actually have pre-scheduled posts. That's really what I'm hoping for. But right now, I'm still in the blog by the seat of my pants sort of thing. However, I will tell you that I'm doing much better at capturing those ideas and writing them down. When I first started blogging, and especially when I had the 3 little kids, it was literally like wake up that day and say, I should write a blog post. I really should write a blog post. What am I going to write a blog post about? And that's not a good way to operate. It's good to at least have a great queue of ideas to work from, so then you're not just trying to pull something out of the sky at the last minute. So that is a little bit of the behind the scenes on how my blogging works or doesn't work. I hope that you are encouraged to know that you are probably so much more organized and on the ball than me, so much more. And if you have a great system, I'd love to hear from you. Email me through the contact form on MoneySavingMom.com. I am all ears and wanting to learn and wanting to improve, because this is not really a good way to blog, but sometimes it is just what it is. But if you are looking for more specific, very helpful, very systematized stuff, please go to michaelhyatt.com. He's got so much great information on creating systems for blog posts that will be successful. I also wanted to mention that if you go to MoneySavingMom.com/scope, MoneySavingMom.com/scope, there's a link there on how to make money blogging. And that series on how to make money blogging actually tells you how to set up a blog, how to get more readers to your blog, how to build a blog that people are going to be loyal to, and how to monetize your blog. A lot of details on setting up a successful blog. I do not talk about how to create a system for writing blog posts and being organized with that, because that is clearly something that I don't have a handle on. But for all the other things, monetizing a blog, marketing, getting more readers, developing the rapport with your readers, go to MoneySavingMom.com/scope to get the link for the How to Make Money Blogging series. Because if you're a new blogger or you're thinking of starting a blog, that's a really, really great place to jump off at, and I hope it will encourage you. So that's what I want to share with you today. It's kind of a little bit all over the place, but I hope that it encourages you in some way, shape, or form, or makes you feel like she's a crazy woman, and maybe that will encourage you too. So I wanted to mention my new book that I kind of briefly said something about, and that is Money Making Mom. If you are looking for ways to increase your income and increase your impact, ways for you to really meld your passion with a profession, this is the book that I really encourage you to get. And that is Money Making Mom, and it's how every woman can earn more and make a difference. Go to MoneyMakingMomBook.com, MoneyMakingMomBook.com, and you can read all about the book, and you can read about the bonuses that we're offering when you pre-order. So if you pre-order before November 3rd, you can pre-order on Amazon. Go to MoneyMakingMomBook.com, and you can get information on the bonuses that we're offering, as well as you can sign up for my free 5-day course on how I make a full-time income from home. So if you'd wondered, is it possible to earn a full-time income from home? Go to MoneyMakingMomBook.com, MoneyMakingMomBook.com for all of the details and to sign up for my free 5-day course on how I make a full-time income from home. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions that you would love for me to address in a future scope, maybe not about systems for blogging, but something else, you can tweet at me. My Twitter is MoneySavingMom. I'm MoneySavingMom on Twitter, and you can also go to MoneySavingMom.com, and you can contact me through our contact form there and leave your question, and I will be happy to consider it for a future scope. So thanks so much for joining me. I know there were a lot of questions that I didn't get to. I will definitely watch the replay and see what those questions are, because I might be able to address them in a future scope. So thanks. I had a whole bunch that I wanted to share, and I thought if I start taking questions, I'm going to be all over the board today, and this is going to be the longest scope in history. So that's that. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow around 7:30 a.m. Central Time. Hopefully I'm on time, and we don't have any workers in our house that are making me off time, at 7:30 a.m. Central Time for our morning motivation show.